Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Grants and Contracts. I'm your co host, Lainey.
And this is Abraham. Good to see everybody joining us here live. And for some of you who are watching us on replay, thank you for hanging out with us here on the Grants and Government Contracting Podcast.
Yes, we are so excited today to bring you some really good tools and some exciting news if you hang around. Today is going to be all about the hidden side of grant fighting, sourcing systems, and secrets to that. So I'm really excited to dive in and show you a little bit about some of my tricks to finding those hidden pesky grants. So, Abe, tell us, what have you been up to this week?
Well, I'm a little bummed out because it's rain, so I haven't got a chance to play pickleball. Um, but that means I have time to do other things, so which is good. But yeah, as we're thinking about one thing that we're going to do new this week and going forward is we're talking about the hidden side of grants and contracts, and we're talking about secrets and stuff like that. So all throughout this podcast here, if you're watching us, we're going to be doing a scavenger hunt, and we're going to be doing a giveaway. And the giveaway means you have to pay attention to the podcast. And throughout the podcast, we're going to give out secret words. And so the secret words is going to allow you to get something special, and so you have to stay to the end of the episode, this episode here, to find out what that special item is. But um but the secret words is going to be a few secret words, and so you're going to combine these secret words to get that special gift at the end of this episode here. So I'm going to reveal this first secret words, the first of the many secret words throughout this whole episode here. So, Lainey, you think everybody's ready for the first secret word?
I think so. We're giving it pretty early.
Well, there's a total of a few words that's going to be given out, and but they have to watch the whole episode, or you have to catch it as we review these words throughout the episode. So it's a little, we'll play a little bit of scavenger hunt here so that you guys can get something very special at the end of this episode. We'll reveal to you what that special item is. So the first word, I'm going to give out the first scavenger word. The first scavenger word is grants. Now there's one, two, three, four more words throughout this episode here. So stick around. So the first word is grants, and you want to capture all the words so that it can be used together to receive something special. So that's we're going to be playing that scavenger hunt today.
I know. I'm super excited. This is the new, we always like to give away something in each of our podcasts, and this is a new way to do it, keeping you engaged and keeping you hanging on every word to see what a secret word is going to be. So, Abe, what is your favorite tool for searching? I know you search a lot more contracts than you do grants. Do you have a favorite tool that's, we don't want to reveal our secret tool, but our favorite tool besides our secret tool that you love to just use? Or maybe it's not even a tool, maybe it's just research, a search engine. Is there just something that really stands out to you that is just your overarching favorite?
Well, it's not necessarily a secret tool, right? It is tried and true. And if you are in the grant world, it is called grants.gov, right? That is the one of the main tools if you're looking for federal related grants. Grants.gov is my go-to every single time if I'm looking for federal related grants. And so that is kind of like my favorite tool. But there's one thing new that some of you may not be aware of, but it is a new tool that they release. Is called simplergrants.gov.
Mhm.
So now, some of you may have played with that. Some of you may not have played with that. So, Lainey, do you want me to do a quick demo on the new tool?
Yeah, show us this new tool. And then I also want to talk about another tool that we use a lot, which is USA spending. But let's look at that simpler grants, the simpler grants.gov, and dive into that because I really do like this tool. Abe, of course, Abe showed me something new. He always does. So this was something he showed me, and I really do like this.
So this is the old grants.gov site, and you come in here and just a little clunky, and you can go search grants. It's a little clunky, right? So this is the old site. So I'm not going to demo the old site for you guys, but the new tool, which is called Simpler Grants, and I'm going to actually put this in the chat so that for some of you who have not used the new tool yet, you can actually see the new tools. But if you're just joining us, let us know where you're joining us from, and put in the name of your organization in the chat area. That would be awesome. And if you're watching on replay, thanks for watching this on replay. And just a
Yes.
side note, if you are watching this on replay, click on the notification bell, subscribe to the channel. That really means a lot to us here. We love hanging out with you guys. And so every time we hang out with you, we love to give out good nuggets so that you can help move your nonprofit organization or your for-profit organization forward in the grants and contracting world. So the new site is called simpler.grants.gov, and they are modernizing how grants.gov operates. And so you can come in here, and this is mainly for federal related grants. And so if you can come in here and you can just put any keywords in here. And so, for example, um, if you are in the nonprofit world and you do some type of training, you could just put that in here
Mm-hmm.
and see what type. There's 373 opportunities related to the word training that has the word training in here somewhere. So you should just kind of look at here. So the first one, medical scientist training program. This one is National Training Center. So this is a training center for teen and pregnancy prevention, modules for enhancing biomedical research workforce training. Um, so lots of different things with the word training. Now, if you are joining us, if you could put in what keyword you would like for us to do a live demo in, that would be awesome. If anybody wants to put a
Yeah.
keyword in the chat, we could do that as well. And for this site and for other sites as well. So we're going to be demoing a few multiple tools out there. And today's
Yeah,
goal is,
and
uh-huh.
I was going to say, I like on the opportunity status that you can do posted and forecasted. So, for those of y'all that are joining that might not know what a forecasted is, this is when the federal government puts out an opportunity that is not yet live. You can't apply for it yet, but it's something that's coming soon. So it could be coming in 2026. Um Sometimes they come multiple years out. So you're just able to put that on your schedule, be thinking about it, maybe planning for it. Maybe they need a training, you do the training, but you're actually able to read that forecast, understand the details, talk, have meetings with the people that are dealing with this training, and you can actually build out a training that fits the forecast that they need. So let's click on that forecast. Just the forecast. Let's see what are some of the forecasts. Oh, so the National Training Center for Title X, it is a forecast.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be posted. Oh, it was posted in August on August 7th, 2024. Um,
And but it's going to run through multi-year. So I guess they treat it as a post to end as a forecast.
mhm.
Let's look at this one with HHS here. So this is $1 million grant, and 150,000 on the low end.
Yeah. So the estimated application due date is May 6th. So this forecast was not put out a lot in advance because it said it was yeah, this was posted. Oh, it was posted on August 1st, 2024. It said the post date for the application will be March 4th. So it's probably already posted now.
Yeah, it is. And then if we want to read the summary,
And you see there on the application process, that's how you're going to apply is you're going to view on grants.gov over to the right-hand side over there.
Yep, a total of 10 awards, which is good, great. So, and so this will come out as a grant. So yeah, so this is an example. But you asked me what's one of my favorite tools to use. This is one. But if you stick around to the end, we have a new favorite tool we're going to review to everybody at the end. So, and then if you're just joining us live here, we're playing scavenger hunt. And the scavenger hunt, where there's going to be different words throughout the session during the podcast here, and you want to collect these words, because when you collect these words, it's going to give you some goodies at the end. So we already gave out the first word. In a little bit, we're going to give out the second word, but the first word is grants. So you want to save that word, and just write it down, save that word, because it's going to be important for you later on. So grants is the first word, and we're going to be revealing the second word in a little bit. So, Leighton, this is one of my favorite site. What are some other tools you use to help find grants for some of our members, some of the clients that we support, or just that you teach people in terms of in the grant world? What tools do you use?
Yes, so I use a couple of different tools. First is I love going and using Candid. I don't have a Candid membership, but I use my membership through North Georgia Community Foundation. If you don't have a local community foundation, normally libraries have a Candid subscription, so you actually have to be in person, so you can't just use their login. You have to go to them. I like using Candid. I don't necessarily go every week. I kind of just set some time when I'm looking for specific things. Another thing that I really like, and I'm going to share my screen when I do this. It's a newer tool to me is Perplexity. So Abe's talked about Perplexity many times for contracting and different things, but I have really been liking Perplexity if I'm stuck on a grant for something that I'm not finding. This is not normally my first step when I'm, looking for grants. But for example, Tanil, I'm going to actually do a live demo from what she said. So she said she doesn't know what keyword would be best, but we're looking for grants right now that can be used for building out our basement to add more forensic interview rooms to meet with families, and a training room as we've outgrown the area upstairs. So you're going to have to kind of play around with your prompts that you put in. It's trial and error. You might find some prompts work well, some prompts don't work well. But what I'm going to put is I'm
Lainey,
looking
can you zoom in a little bit more so it's easier for everybody to see? Perfect.
I'm looking for a grant to build out a forensic interview room. Tanel, can you put in the chat what type of people you serve at your organization, just so I can add this to the prompt? Okay. So I just put this. It actually came up with the Edmondson Telford Center. So that is who Tanil works with. So it's going to bring up different sources. That's what I like about this. So instead of it just giving you the information, you can actually go look at the website. So the Georgia Crime, this gives $200 per interview for eligible cases, but it doesn't cover the facility construction. So these are some foundation grants that could be good. So the Heritage Community Foundation has actually given the CAC $2,600 for interview upgrades. So you might be able to type in heritage community. So this actually might be a wonderful one. So I'm going to click, you can click here, and I'm going to share my tab here. And it is called the Paul Coverdale Forensic Science Improvement Grant Program. So, you're able to click off of Perplexity what it says and go in here. This might be a good one for you to know. So you'll have to look into this and let us know. And it tells you, eligible applicants and everything. But say you look through all this and this does not have any more, this doesn't have the information you're looking for. So you're going to say, I need a grant specifically for renovations, not state or federal grant. Not saying that those were not good, but maybe you're wanting a foundation grant, a corporate grant. So you can do that. And Jackson EMC is going to come up. So we know that that is a very well-loved grant in North Georgia. And so, Jackson EMC has given these two grants. Our lovely Community Foundation of North Georgia. This is actually, there's two community foundations in North Georgia. This is the other one that's located not in Gainesville, but they have their grant, the Greater Hall of Commerce. So see, I just really like Perplexity for doing that research, especially when I'm kind of stuck, because it broadens that search and you're really able to get it to get very kind of deep in the woods and come up with stuff that you might not find anywhere else, especially I think because this Perplexity helps almost, I don't want to say think for you, because it does not think for you. It's only as good as the prompt you give it. But when you're trying to find very specific grants, maybe something that's out of the ordinary. So, a renovation grant, it's not a renovation for the entire building, it's for the specific forensic room. So that's a little bit out of the ordinary. It's not it is supporting the people you serve, but in a different way. So that's why I really like this. It is actually perplexity.ai, and I'll put that in the chat so everybody can have that. I'll put it right now. But yeah, I really like Perplexity, and somebody's putting that it's an app as well. So you can download it on your phone and get the app. I know, Abe, do you have any tips for Perplexity? He's a Perplexity pro. So
Yes, we recently did one of our podcasts. We actually used Perplexity to help write proposals. And you can use Perplexity to help you write the grant as well. So maybe in a future class, we could show how Perplexity or Claude or any other AI tool, we could show you how to use AI tools to help you write grant responses or prompt it. It's called prompt engineering, right? Because we live in a new world. Back in the old days, such a thing as email marketer didn't exist, right? Because email didn't exist. Or a digital marketer before social media, who is a digital marketer, right? So
yeah.
now there are future things called prompt engineers. And prompt engineers are where you learn how to use different phrases, different sentences to help AI to help you. So AI is only as good as what you can tell it to. You can ask it to give you certain results. So prompt engineering is the future, and so all of you will become prompt engineers, whether you want to be or not. You will become prompt engineers in your own rights as you continue to grow your organization, whether it's a for-profit or nonprofit. But we'll do that class at some point in the future. So, but Perplexity can be used to help you to do deep research on a lot of different things. But specifically, what we show you to do today is how to use it to help you find grants. So, very powerful tool. Lady, thanks for sharing that. And now, if you're just joining us, we are doing a scavenger word hunt. The first word, we gave that away already. So if you did not get that word, you have to go watch earlier segments of this here. Now I'm ready to give out the second scavenger word for the day here. And the second word for the day is and, A-N-D. So you want to collect these words because it's going to be meaningful for you later on in the episode. So the second word is and. So write that down. And if you did not get the first word, you have to go watch the previous or check out the text that we put out earlier. So, Lainey, what other hidden secrets and systems and things you want to share with everybody about grant sourcing?
Yes, so I'm not going to dive into this a lot because we did an entire episode on this. I've taught on this. This is not a hidden secret, but something I think is important to bring up right now. 990s. We love
Mm.
researching 990s. We call it legal spying. So almost like a sister to the 990 is USA Spending. And Abe, do you want to pull that up and show them USA Spending?
Sure. There's two worlds, right? There's two worlds out there as it relates to how the federal government award money to organizations. And for profit, they award it as contracts, and for nonprofit, they award it as grants. And so, what we're going to do is we're going to use USA Spending. And Shaw, I see your question. We'll come back and I'll answer your question in a second here. But let me do a quick demo on how to use USA Spending to track certain information. Because if you know how to do this here, if you can look at historical record, right? Lainey mentioned earlier that if you can find the historical record of how different foundations award their money through grants by looking at their 990, you can do the same thing with federal agencies and how they put out grants and how they do different things. And we're going to look at two sites. And the first site is award history. So I'm going to come in here, and the website is called USA Spending. Ooh, wrong button. USA Spending. So if you come to usaspending.gov, this should be all of you who are watching this here, your favorite site. It should be among one of your favorite sites to visit. So come in here and click on Start Searching Awards. And in here, you can choose whether you want to look for contract awards or grant awards. For the purpose today, we're going to look at grant awards. So if you come in here, there's different, they updated this here more recently. So before, it's a little bit easier. But first, you want to look at time period. And so I'm just going to look at one fiscal year because I don't necessarily want to look at, because there's so much money as it relates to what the federal government
Yeah.
puts out. And so we're talking about trillions in terms of grants every single year. So I don't want to look at multiple years. I just want to look at 1 year. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to click on just 2024 full fiscal year.
Yeah, and
And
we
then
might
I'm
want to
going
do
to,
2023 for grants just because sometimes I know with 990s, it's behind a little bit. So I always like to kind of, when I'm doing my research, do that 2023. Once we get to about August, maybe a little bit later in 2025, we can kind of start doing that 2024.
and talking about fiscal year, just a little hint. Next week, we're going to be talking about how to win big, leveraging the fiscal years. And so we're going to be teaching you what's a fiscal year as it relates to the government and different organizations, whether it's for-profit, nonprofit, different grantors, foundations. How do they use fiscal years, and how you can maximize that as it relates to fiscal years. So come back and join us next week when we talk about fiscal years. So I put 2024 as one, and then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to I'm going to hit back. So I've checked that. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to look at different type, right? And these are the different characteristic. Now I can do it based upon specific NAICS code, different industry, but for grants, I'm not going to narrow it down. So I'm going to come and I can also look for recipients, but for this purpose, I'm going to look at sources. And so for sources, I can say, okay, do I want to look at agencies? Which agency is awarding, is putting out what type of grants? And so you can kind of narrow it down based upon a few things here. It just depends on how you want to do this here. And so, but let me come and I want to specifically look for grants. So, nope, I don't want contracts. I want grants. And this is new. So the grant is, I think, is it under sources here?
Go
Uh,
back. It said at the bottom, if you scroll down, learn more about the
oh,
filter
okay.
categories. So maybe
Yeah.
it'll, okay, well,
Yep. Because they just updated this here like a few days ago. So before it used to be just it all laid out every single thing. So this is actually my third time using the new format. Um, so where is the grant? Yeah, this is for recipient. I'm not looking for recipient, specific recipient. Now you can do that as well. You can look at specific recipients in here. But I want to look at the grant. So is that, I'm gonna look at, nope, that's place of performance, characteristic, award description. No, not that. Wow, yeah, lots of changes in here. I can't even find it in here. Uh, and I just did it earlier. And so I just did earlier too.
I know I'm looking on my end too, trying to find it because it used to just say grants under contract
Yes,
award
yeah.
type.
Used to just say grants and it was just very easy right there. So yeah, I'm not sure where it is now. Okay,
Oh,
well,
here it is.
why
It's
don't you look
under,
that up? I'm going to show the
I
next what?
I know where it is. I
Okay,
found it.
where's?
So, if you go to characteristics
Uh-huh.
and financial assistant award type,
Ah, okay.
and then you have to do
There
grants.
we go. Yes. Yeah, and you can look for loans, you can look for other things too. So, all right. So, see, learning new things all the time. So, financial assistant, we want to look at grants. So now that I have that, I've checked that there. So I've checked at the year and I've checked at the grants. So I'm only choosing two key things to search for. And now you can narrow it down by the many other different factors for this purpose. But I'm going to go ahead and hit submit, and it's going to tell me where all the money, the grants, and who is going to the recipient here. Now, a lot of it is going through different health organizations out there, some government related organizations out there, and some of these do not relate back to what you guys are doing. But there's a total of 531,000 grants that were given away last year in 2024,
Yeah.
fiscal year 2024. Why does that matter to you? What you want to do is this list becomes very important to you when you come in here and you can actually um, oh, it's over 500,000. So I have to narrow it down a little bit. And you can download the document. It's going to give you a long Excel sheet. And within the Excel sheet, that sheet is going to become very powerful to you because within the Excel sheet, you can actually filter it by organization names and how much money was allocated and so forth. So that's really what this sheet is for. And then you can also see which agency is putting out these grants here. So this is one of the if you know historical grant spending or grant award patterns and who's receiving it, you can go and do some grant support under them, or you can actually start building a relationship with those agencies and understand what I call the flow of money. If you understand the flow of money and which who is putting out these grants and which um, whether it's an agency or which nonprofit is receiving the grants, then you can actually have a marketing strategy. And in the future class, we're going to talk about marketing, how to market to agencies, how to market to foundations and to individual donors and so forth in the future class. So this list becomes very important to you. But Lainey, I'm going to reveal a second website that puts out different grants out there. And that's sponsored by the federal government. And this is probably a site that very few people know about. And it's called challenge.gov.
I was hoping you were gonna bring this one up. This one is a really cool site. It has their challenges that are put out there, and they have inform it's really cool because it's a different way they're doing grants. So just solving the problems that the government has, and they update pretty frequently. So this is something I would definitely kind of come in here, look at, and see if you could apply for one of these.
Yep. And the way they do this here is they say we have a problem, we don't know what the answers are, but we want somebody to give us a solution. So, whatever the solution is that you have, you can go and compete for this prize here, and they give it out as prizes. So it's a grant, but they give it out as a prize money. And some of them have phase one, phase two, phase three, almost like SBIR, STTR grant that we can look at briefly in a little bit as well. But if you come in here, just click on find a challenge and then just go through this here and see what might be interesting to you. And there's all kinds of different grants in here. And, some of it is technology related. Some of it is just, some type of training new programs, that innovative new programs that you have. Some of it may be research that they need help with. So just come in and look at what might be interesting. Let's look at NASA. Let's look at this MUREP Partnership Learning Annual Notification. I have no idea what this is, but it's due. The award date is June 10th. So let's look at what this one is. I'm interested in this business model challenge as well, and let's look at this first one here. So this is a $50,000. And they actually have a pre-proposal webinar that's coming up as well. So phase one, NASA is soliciting research proposals that fall within 25 topic areas that present a subset of pertinent mission areas for NASA. Okay, so they're looking for different things that to solve some of their potential pain points here. And if you look at their topics of interest, so I guess the topic is arts, data science, energy engineering, healthcare technology. So anything of any of these topics there is
Which their topics are very wide
yes.
in
And
what they're
then
doing.
there's some specific things that they're working on. So if you're interested in this here, this can be a potential resource that you guys can use. I'm actually interested in this sustainable business model because I'm all about look, quit menthol and thrive. So
I saw that one. Yeah.
prepare challenge. What is this? Pioneer research, early prediction, Alzheimer disease, but life-threatening situation, extended reality training challenge. I'm interested in this one. Let me look at this one quickly here. Sustainable business model challenge. NASA invites entrepreneurs, startups, researchers, innovators to leverage NASA's Earth system science data to create sustainable business models that tackle real-world resiliency
Yeah.
challenges. Okay. So they have certain tools, and they want to use that in the real world. So interesting. And cash prize is 10,000. 10 winners for a total of 100,000. So it's a small amount, but here's a beef about these things here. Usually, when you receive some of this here, it open doors for real application of your. Because this here is just either for you to create a concept and prove the concept, or to create a prototype or a working model. And then if they love that, then it can lead into a bigger grant, or it can lead to a contract along the way as well.
And I've
So,
seen a couple grants like this. If you go down, it says what's in it for you, where they're offering you training. I was
mhm.
actually looking at a business grant yesterday where they were giving you a sum of money. It, like Abe said, it's not really a substantial sum of money, but they're giving you five, $10,000, but then you get training on top of that. You get doors opened. That's kind of why you would want to do this, to get your foot in the door if you had something that your organization was doing.
Yes, and then let's talk about one last area, and then we're gonna reveal the. Are we almost ready to reveal the new portal that we've been hinting at?
Yes, I think so. I have a solution that I want to share as well. This is one that I feel like is hidden. It's kind of a secret solution, and I think that our listeners will be really excited to see it.
Okay, so let me talk quickly about SBIR and STTR grants quickly, and then we will shift to that. But before we do that, the third scavenger word hunt is this here. Everybody ready? Third word, contracts. The third word scavenger word hunt is contracts. So we revealed to you two words previously. You have to go and find in the comments or go watch the earlier part of this episode. The third word is contracts. All right. So SBR, SCTR grants, Small Business Innovation Research, or Small Business Technology Transfer programs. This is if you have a traditional nonprofit, this may not necessarily be ideal for you. But if you're doing something innovative in your nonprofit and you want to commercialize it for profit purposes, now we did a early podcast where we talked about that as a nonprofit, you can form a for profit arm to generate additional revenue, whether it's revenue from um, commercial clients or revenue from government agencies. You can do that as well. And if you're interested in learning more about that, reach out to us. I can help you navigate that side of it a lot more. But if you decide that you have some solutions that is solving specific pain points in the public sector or in the private sector, you can go after a SBIR grant. And this is the SBIR grant is done through multiple agencies. Multiple agencies participate in this here. And so if your solutions is more tied to the Department of Energy, then they would have a grant for you. If your solution is tied to DoD related needs, then you would do the DoD SBIR grant and so forth. But how this works is this here. It's a very simple process. You submit a grant, or you submit a proposal, just like traditional projects. And then you lay out what your ideas are. And you don't have to have even a working prototype. It's just a concept. And then you submit it to them. There's three phases to this here. Phase one is somewhere anywhere from 150,000 to about 500,000 for phase one. Most of them will be somewhere about 150,000, 250,000. And then and phase one just to do your research, partner maybe with a university or partner with a research institution to prove the concept, or you may have your own research team. Phase two is to actually test the product, make sure that it works and that there is a market fit to it. And then phase three or phase two, they will give you anywhere from uh, 500 to 1.5 million dollars for phase two,
Wow.
depending on which agency. And then phase three is go to market. Phase three, they will support you in the go to market, and then they want you to use all of this here to get investors and to get other people to invest in your technology. So it's a three-phase approach. But this is like if you have an idea, instead of going to an investor where they take equity in your company, you can go to the government where they do not take equity in your company. They help you, and all they want is that should it be used for, it can be useful for government agencies. you just allow them to use it at no cost for a period of time, and you negotiate what those terms are. You negotiate, it could be 6 months, 12 months, it could be 5 years, however. But if the government is using your technology, it's easier for you to convince investor. You can say, hey, well, the DoD is using our technology, and then after the 12-month or 24-month period, they're going to be paying for our solutions. And so this is one way of how you can get validation, and you can get a real test a user to partner with you, and you get money without having to pay back the grant, or without having to give up equity.
Yeah, I think that's such a cool idea, and I've done a lot of research on that. So also, if you have done an SBIR grant, um, s post in the comments. We love to hear our success stories when it comes to that. The last thing that I wanna share before we reveal our big portal is this, um it's not necessarily a grant, it's a grant searcher, but it's through Bank of America. So what Bank of America has is they have funds. So people hold their funds there. Maybe they're donor advised funds or estate funds, different things. And those funds, Bank of America actually puts out grants every single year. So Bank of America is the advisor for the grant. And the cool thing is that they've created a portal just for their funds. So they have a lot, honestly. And um, I like this because you can come in here and this is not wanting to click. Let me try. Okay, well, there it goes. So I just did all because it's not, I don't know if there's a bug or something that's happening with this, but you can come in here and they have areas served. Some of them are very specific. So if you can find your county on here, I think that's a win for you because some of them are down to like they only serve a specific area in a specific county. And then some of them are wide, some of them are statewide, nationwide. You just kind of have to look and see what's going on. And it's really good to come in here and look often because they change. I can come in here in the next month and it's going to be different than what's this month. So you want to constantly look on here. But I'm just going to click on this one because another really cool integration that they've done with this with Bank of America is they've actually integrated with Candid. So you come in here, a lot of these foundations, because their funds are held with Bank of America, they're not going to have, they're small foundations. That doesn't mean that they're small foundations in money wise, monetary wise, what their fund is. It just means that they're probably not going to have their own website. Their website is through Bank of America. So it's hard to kind of do that research on them besides what the mission and guidelines they have. But if you come to, right here, grant history. Under any of these grants, you can click on this. It's going to say that it's going to take you away. And it is going to bring you to Foundation Maps by Candid, and it will give you a list of all of their history of the grants that they've given out. So this specific foundation, which is the Alan and Layla Garden Foundation, has given $1.6 million in grants to 20 recipients, but they've given out 76 grants. So a lot of their recipients are getting these grants year after year. And it'll tell you what the grants are. So in 2024, these are the people they gave to $80,000, $8,000. And it'll tell you the basic information, what it was, what support they had. You can really get down, you can get a lot of information and a lot of details from this. And that's going to help you just doing that research to first find out if you think you're a match, but want to make sure 100% match, go into this. If you don't see anything that aligns with what you're doing, you might not be a match. You also know, if I ask for homeless people program support, which is what this is, they've already given a grant to that. So you probably have a better chance. So this is a really cool portal, and I am going to put this in the chat so you can go here. It's just Bank of America. Let me go. Well, return to search results. Bank of America Foundation search. But I'm going to put this in here so you can go to this. Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to give out another scavenger word hunt. So this is the other word. We've looked at three. So this is our fourth word, and we have one more word after this here. So this fourth word here is podcast.
I knew it.
Podcast. That is the fourth word. There's one more word. So don't go anywhere. We're gonna reveal the final word in a little bit here. But I'm gonna share with you. This is We just launched something brand new, and it's gonna be
Yeah.
so powerful that there's currently not a tool like this here for nonprofits to manage their pipeline. And so I'm going to share
Yeah.
my screen, and we're going to show you how this new tool can change how you do so many different things in the world that you guys are in. So let me go ahead and
Yeah, and we've been working on this for quite a while. We saw a huge need and just wanted to make this accessible for nonprofits. We already have this on the contract side, and if you are a part of our contract side, put in the chat if you already use GovGenie. But I have been hinting about this. If you've been in any of my classes, if you've been on any podcast, we've been hinting at this for a while, a long time. So this is something we're really excited to launch, and we're just in our initial launch. So, we're still working out if there's any bugs, if there's anything we want to fix, because we want this to be the best tool for organizations to use, and we want it to be the most efficient. So still just working through that stuff, but we're really excited to be able to bring this to y'all today.
Yep. So if you come in here, so the tool is GovGenie, right? And the GovGenie is a fairly new tool, but it's only been used for contracting purposes. And what we just launched is we launched the grant portal side to GovGenie. So we're going to reveal that to you in a second. So you can come in here, you can see that GovGenie does many different things here. It allows you to come and manage your contract pipeline on one dashboard, your bid board, your CRM, your teaming portal, your browser. There's a browser extension. You can look for opportunity and award proposal management, but we just launched the grant side of it. And so when you come in and you log into GovGenie, you can just set up, and the scavenger hunt gives you a super really awesome special to GovGenie. So we're gonna reveal the final word to you guys in a second for the scavenger word hunt. But you come to GovGenie, and let me make sure I'm in my test account here. So inside of GovGenie, it gives you a dashboard of what projects you're working on. And currently, we just released the grant portal. And so the grant portal does not track your grants by status yet, because I'm showing you, this is for the contract side of it. But the same thing that you're seeing in here as it relates to contract, it would do the same thing in grants as well. So you can come in here, you can track what's going on, the different relationships that you're building in the CRM. You can look at the different projects at different stages. But once you're in here, you click on opportunities, and you have two options to look at, either contracts or grants. And so the grant portal is brand new, so I'm gonna click on the grants. And once I'm in here, it says that there's a total of 13,801 grants in here. And I can come in here and I can put in I can create a filter of what I'm looking for. But I'm just going to look for just a general term. And
And I
um,
know I know we're going to get a lot of questions about this. So where is this data being pulled from? So the really cool thing about this project and why we wanted this project so bad, is it's being pulled from the same information that Candid's being pulled. So this is going to have federal grants, state level grants, foundation grants, and it has all that same data. It's just presented in a different way than Candid is. That's the high level explanation without getting down in the dirt with the data and the technology and the APIs and all that kind of stuff. But that's why I love this tool so much. And I'm so excited to be able to use this for my clients, to be able to show this to my clients, because I think this is going to be a way easier way. And it's at your fingertips where you're not having to go. If you are someone that looks every single day for grants, you're able to come on there and you don't have to go to your Candid membership or even, spend an arm and a leg and remortgage your house to get that Candid membership. So that's why I'm really excited about this. And I'm hoping this is going to be an opportunity to give people access to that. And I'm really excited too and we'll show that in just a second, the board where you're able to track all your grants. So we're no longer going to be using spreadsheets. We're no longer going to be using our Word document and losing grants while you're searching. Anybody that has been on our theme of a scavenger hunt through Candid. I've always got my computer and then I got the Candid computer and I'm sitting here typing and I'm having to email links to myself and it's just a whole production. Well, now you're just going to be able to click a button and add it to your bid board. We're working on rolling that out very shortly, but since we had this done where you could search, we wanted you to at least have that ability, and then that's why we're working on the board.
Yep. And so if you come in here, I just put the word homeless in
Mm-hmm.
here. And so it shows there's 24 grants that has the word homeless in it right now. A few of them are closed and then some are open. And so, for example, if I'm looking at this housing and homeless grantor, if I click on that onto the right side of it, it gives me a quick summary of what this is about. And then if I read through this here, housing homeless grant is a funding opportunity to designed to support nonprofits based in Maricopa County. So Maricopa, I think this is Arizona. Um, uh, and then if you're interested in this here, then you can actually click on the site. It will take you to where the grant is directly um, from. And then you can look at the details of this here and then apply for the grant. If you're tracking, let's assume that you're tracking this here and you just want to save it, then you can just hit the save button, save grant,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going to um, save it into your list. So you click on the save grants, and so now I've added one save grant into my for future reviewing purposes. Now, so this is the first version. We just launched this here. I'm talking about hot off the press uh, Monday.
Yeah.
So it's brand new, just hot off the press. And now we want you guys to use it. And if you run into any issues or anything like that, let us know. We're here. We want to build something that will be meaningful to you, right? Means that you can
Mm-hmm.
actually use to help manage your whole nonprofit and your contracting world. For those of you that do both, or some of you that just do one side of it. So this is how you manage it, and you can actually do it in a list view as well. So you can do it in uh, the, just the big view like this here, or the split view, or the list view here. Now, for the future purposes, I'm going to show to you from a different perspective, but we're building that out right now. So in the future, I'm going to come to the grant side of it, on the contract side of it. I'm going to show to you how we do it from the contract side. So on the contract side of it, as you come in here and you're looking at opportunities, the contract module the grant module will be similar to the contract module. So if I come in here and I see let's assume I see this project here is due on May 6th, and I like this project here. I can add it to the bid board. So in the future, instead of the bid board on the grant module, there's going to be a grant board. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna click add this here to the my grant board. I'm using it from a contract board perspective, but it will be very similar in the grant board because that's under development right now as we speak. And so instead of just on the saved grant side of it, it will be in your board like this here. And so in your board, your grant board, you're gonna have a evaluate swim lane. You're gonna have a watch list. You're going to have a scoping. Evaluate means that you and your team, maybe you as the executive director, or you as your a board, or as a developer, a funding manager, you add it in here, it goes into the evaluating. Evaluating means that you're going to determine to see if it's a fit for you guys or not. Watch list might means that it might be due 9 months from now, and so you put it
Yeah.
into the watch list, so you just track it. Scoping means that you're scoping out what are the weaknesses, what are the gaps that you have, so that you can meet all the requirements of this grant. So that's what scoping means. Drafting means you're drafting out the grant proposal. You're putting your proposals together. Submitted means you've submitted it and awaiting for award notice. Someone's going to say, "Hey, you received this grant." Won means you won the grant, and then lost means that you submitted the grant but you did not win and did not bid. On the grant board, it would say instead of did not bid, it will be did not submit. So it'll be very
Yeah,
similar
it
to
did
this.
not. Yeah, and this is just a great tool because, like I said, a lot of us are tracking our grants, tracking what we're doing, in an Excel spreadsheet. We're having to put in formulas, all of that. We have to constantly update it. We're having to go from program to program where you have like a doc that you're using. This is really cool because you're able to bring this, maybe if you've hired a grant writer, or even you have one on staff, where you bring this to your board or the ED, whatever, and say, look, this is what our person has been working on. These are the ones that we looked at, but we decided not to bid on it for this reason or this reason. You're going to be able to add notes in there. You're also going to get to see year to year what you did. So if you submitted something year after year, you're going to want to submit it again. And it shows you the money view, which I really like that as well. It shows you, how much funding, and it adds that in there. Another thing is, Abe, will you click into one of those opportunities?
Hmm.
So when this next launch comes, there's going to be some opportunities to do attachments and discussions and notes. So this is kind of like a collaborating place for your team or your grant writing team. So you're not having to go all out to Google Drive and email and Outlook and all these different places, and stuff gets lost. Where another thing, something that I've seen is with organizations, okay, you apply for the same grant over and over, but when it comes to organization, you don't have your grant from last year or the year before. So then you're in a mad dash to search it. Where here you're going to be able to come and say, all right, I did State of Hope this year. Let me get the attachment for it. Everything's here. And your whole team member has it. Because in the nonprofit space, and I feel like a lot of y'all can agree with this, is that we struggle with key men, meaning that one person knows all the information, but nobody else knows where it is. So if that person's out, then we don't know what to do. So having this, you're able to add your team members, you're able to add your board. It's a collaborative space for everyone.
Absolutely. So you can actually look at exactly how much you've submitted, how much you won, how much you've lost, and then you can view this here in a tabular view. So you can, from maybe from the board of directors perspective, right? They want to see, okay, how's a pipeline looking? So they can quickly come and you can quickly, as the executive director or as a part of the administrative team, you can say, hey, we've submitted so much and we've won so much and so forth. So you can manage your pipeline through this portal here. So the grant modules is brand new, and you can use it. And the grant board itself is coming in the near future, but we're demonstrating to it from the contract perspective here. And so it's going to be a very powerful tool for you guys to use. You can also view it from the list view as well in here, so that you can say, okay, which projects and at what stage and so forth. And I can put in here that I want to view 100 in the list view. So this is for some of you who love Excel and not willing to give up Excel. We built in Excel-like features in here, so that you can kind of come and track it, in a list view like this here, and then you can add a label. So for example, you can create your own label if you want to track it. So the label could be any additional label you want to. You can, add multiple labels to it and so forth like this here. Um, and assign a label so that you can actually easier see it in for tracking purposes as well. So this is a new tool. Now you're thinking, okay, how much does this cost, right? Now, Lainey, do you have a rough idea what Candid charges for what they do?
It's like $1,200 a month.
What? So GovGenie, you can actually come in here and you can actually start using GovGenie for free.
Hmm.
You can manage 10 opportunities in your pipeline. But for $99, you can manage really, even though we say 500 grant opportunities, but it's kind of unlimited right now because we're still in beta. So if you get grandfather in the $99, it's actually unlimited. And so we're not, this is future, right? Future is going to be limited, but if you get grandfather, it'll be unlimited uh, for, for your usage here. So it's $99 per month. And with the scavenger word that you've been collecting, you can get it for half price for
Hmm.
$49. So we've been giving out scavenger words earlier. And so the final word for our scavenger word hunt is 50, the number 50, 50. So if
Now,
you
is
put
that a
all these
word
words together,
or a number?
if you put all these words together, the first word, the second, third, fourth, and this is the final number, not necessarily a word, then you can use that. And when you go to, and so when you go and set up your GovGenie account, once you're in it, you can actually apply the coupon. When you set up your account, you can apply the coupon and get 50% off of GovGenie. Instead of $99, it's $49 a month. So, or you can do the yearly too. It'll apply the 50% discount to the yearly.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm
With
so
that,
excited for this.
mhm,
And please let us know, what you think about it. If what you like about it, what you don't like about it. We love feedback and we want, like Abe said, we want this to be as best as it can be for your organization. That's why we did it. We saw a hole, we wanted to fill that hole. And so please reach out to us, info@govcontractors.org. Comment on our videos if you're watching a playback, and we would love to talk to you more. But with that being said, remember that you are only one grant away.
and one contract away from all of your goals, your dreams for the next hire that you need, from the next capital expenditure that you want to invest, or the next, whatever ideas you have to grow your nonprofit or your contracting company.
Yes, and we hope to see you next Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. or watch playback. Thank you for joining us today. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment.
And next week, we're going to be talking about the fiscal year and how to win big with the fiscal year. And so, grantors, foundations, enterprise corporations, government agencies, they all have a fiscal year, and all these fiscal years are different. Your business uses the calendar year, but most big organizations, they use the fiscal year, and how you can maximize on that fiscal year to help you get more funding, more contracts for your organization. We will see you next week. Thanks for hanging out with us. Until next time, take care, buddy.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.